There we go. Hi, guys. Welcome to the podcast. Um, Today I have my friend Charles Oatten. Um, I uh, I know you by Chaz as well, so I know you said you prefer, it doesn't matter which one,
Anything but Chuck.
anything but Chuck. Okay, I love it. So I know Chaz from karaoke, and we met one night and just instantly clicked, and he's this amazing human being, and I thought he'd be a perfect person to interview today. So I will let him interview or interview. I will let him go ahead and introduce himself, and we'll go from there. And tell me what you do.
Hello, I'm Charles. Right now I cook. I love to cook. Um, been cooking for, God, the better part of my adult life, around 10 years. Right now I'm a cook at Applebee's and I go to college at Madonna University. That
Where
takes
is
up most
that?
of my time. Livonia, Michigan.
Livonia. Okay. All
Pretty
right.
far.
So, um, tell me about your childhood. Like, did you grow up with parents who like pressured you, parents who like what did your parents and your family influence you in looking for more education?
Um, I'm first generation. Neither of my parents went to college. Um, My stepdad didn't go to college. My stepmom, I don't think she went to college. It was never really much of a pressure. Um, but now I go to college and all three of my siblings go to college. My sister just got her associate's degree. Um, Michael doesn't go to college, but he is going to continued education with for HVAC, heating and cooling and stuff. So we're all in continued education now, which is cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
they definitely set us up to have a better life than they did. So really good parents.
Awesome. So, um, I don't know when's the best time to bring it up, but you were in an accident. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah,
And yeah, you had an accident. Tell me you what success meant to you before the accident and what it means to you now.
okay. So when I was 20, I went across the median on the interstate and collided with a semi truck. Uh, it was really bad. Uh, Lost the arm in the collision and was essentially dying on the side of the road. Two retired Army medics happened to be passing me by and saw the accident happen, and they stopped uh, and tourniqueted my artery so I wouldn't bleed out. So they saved my life and called emergency crews and stuff. They airlifted me from there to University of Louisville Hospital, and they saved my life in the hospital. They had saved my life in the helicopter. Like five different people saved my life that night. Pretty crazy that I made it out at all. Once I was at the hospital, I was in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks, 13 days, something like that. Doesn't matter. Miraculously, my brain and my spine were fine. I did have a brain bleed, but I went to a neurologist for 2 years after the event and got cleared miraculously. Um, yeah, I so in the hospital, they put me in the medically induced coma. They took my spleen out. They operated on my liver, I think, and my bladder. I had a lot of internal damage.
Mm-hmm.
All the ribs on this side were damaged. One of my lungs collapsed at one point. My femur on my right side, weirdly, on my right side, all the other injuries were on the left, but on the right side, my femur was fractured, needed traction for that. So it's living, breathing miracle. You never think it's going to happen to you, and then it does. I was on the news in my hometown, the same two newscasters that I watched my whole childhood. So
Mhm.
like I knew their faces very well, but so after I woke up, they showed me that, and it was very cool. It must have been a slow news day, but at any rate, success before my accident. I always felt like I was kind of chasing it, and the goalpost always moved once I got there. Uh, but it kind of put everything into perspective for me. Dogs barking. It kind of put everything into perspective in the way that trauma does. That all you really need is the basics, some
Mhm.
people that love you, and some food to eat, and a glass of water, and a warm bed at night.
Mhm.
And it sounds kind of cheesy and cliche, but it really slowed everything down for me. It
Mhm.
slowed me down, and it really narrowed my view of success. And definitionally, it changed the way I looked at success. Way way
Yeah.
happier than I ever
So
was
did
now.
it make you wanna go back to school more, or you it just, like
Yeah, at the time, I was just cooking full time, living with a partner, and so I had just put in my 2 weeks. The whole reason we took the trip down there, road trip down there, was because we had a window of time without work. She got it off work, and I had put in my 2 weeks at a restaurant because I had got a better restaurant job at a better restaurant, and I wasn't starting until we got back from that road trip. Uh, that kind of put the kibosh on everything. I essentially lost everything. I lost my house, lost a lot of my stuff in the move
Mhm.
because some friends of ours had to essentially move into our house and take care of our animals while I was 300, 400 miles away with her, stuck in a hospital for 3 to 6 months. So then by the time I finally got out, I had no money. Uh, Lost my rental, lost the car, obviously, in the
Mhm.
crash. Um, so I really had to start over from square one at 20. Uh, so being from that square one mindset, it was it was kind of a no brainer for me to go back to school because I've always loved to learn. I've always loved school. And the only reason I wasn't going at the time that it happened was because I didn't have the time. All my time was devoted to working and keeping my keeping my life afloat there,
Mhm.
keeping the keeping the responsibilities in check. But so after the accident, I had to move back in with my folks. I was reading a lot, and it kind of just clicked in my brain one day, and I applied and started going to Mott Community College because it was affordable and I had the time.
Oh, that's awesome. And then,
Thanks.
what are you going for?
So I'm going for forensic science.
And, like, are you in your 1st year, 2nd year?
Second year. I was going for social work at first in that whole series of events that I was telling you about. I started going for social work,
Mhm.
and I don't know, something clicked in my head, and I realized that I need to chase my real passion, which is, I read Sherlock Holmes a lot as a kid, and I've watched the crime shows and all that stuff, and CSI and all of that. And I'm like, man, that's what I want to do. So why not? So,
Mhm.
and luckily, a lot of the prerequisites for social work have a lot of overlap with the forensic science prerequisites to get into a program. So I kind of that kind of worked out in my favor.
Oh, yeah.
Things like human anatomy and stuff, biology,
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff you have to take to be a social worker
Yeah, I
lines
grew
right
up,
up.
watching Forensic Science. It was like a show. You remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I was hooked. I love that
Forensic
show.
Files. Forensic
Forensic
Files.
Files.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I got a
It's really
cough.
magic, and the field has taken everything so much farther, even in the time that we've been alive, to where they're solving cases. Just 2 days ago, I saw a news article. Uh, they solved a case that was a cold for 30 years, where this lady had disposed of her child in a dump and encased her in concrete. Really heinous stuff. But they brought her to justice 30 years later,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to serve the rest of her life in prison. And she thought she got away.
Yeah.
That's the magic of forensic science,
Oh
and
yeah. Forensic
really
Science
why
is
I
pretty
want to
cool.
pursue it.
Um, so what do you want people to know about you that they might not know? Like, how do you want somebody to approach you?
Oh, I don't know.
Just like normal?
Kind of their thing. Yeah, uh, I see what the question's going towards. Like when people approach me with the sense of uh caution or tenuousness, I bristle up myself. Uh, Full disclosure, I often forget that I'm shaped and look very different from normal people,
Mm-hmm.
and that reminds me
Mm-hmm.
the weird look in their eye. And
Mm-hmm.
while we're on the subject, kids are the best at this. That's Kids have the best reaction to me. Kids are almost never scared when they see me for the first time. They
Yeah.
always think it's cool. I have a prosthetic, as you know, and it has a hook for a hand, and they think it's the coolest thing in the whole world. They go. Just the other day, I was in the grocery store, and this little kid, maybe 5 or 6, in the self checkout, he goes, "One arm, so cool!" And his turned beet red, and she yelled at him and freaked out, and like he has to learn not to do that in public, and I understand, but like it just kind of made my whole day. Like I was like a superhero or something. It was really cool. And the kids have the best reaction. Adults often have the worst reaction because they're so caught up with like, what's he like, how do I
Mm-hmm.
act, and
Mm-hmm.
that makes
Yeah.
but yeah, like you said, just normal, because I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah. And then after the accident, did you here, I'm not going to talk about the accident. Sorry, scratch that. I'm jumping all over the place and I don't like it.
That's okay.
So, we had talked about this a little bit, but like, what are you doing to make the world a better place?
Oh, I could be doing more. Um, I'm going to school for forensic science, and really, if you reduce that down to its core, that's just because I want to make the world a better place, and I think that's my lane to do it. Uh, I give clothes when you know, as we all do, we accumulate these clothes that we never wear. I'm staring at a pile of clothes right now that I'm going to put in a bag and donate. I try to do that. I try to give to advocacy groups that I think help when I can. Money's very tight, but when I
hmm
can do it, I try to do it. And and yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for it. I'm going to try to make the world a better place in more ways now, because I
Yeah.
definitely could be doing more.
That's like my key question for everybody is like at the end of
Yeah,
the interview, like, what are you doing to make the world a better place? And, you know, right now, I feel like I'm trying to make the world a better place by like like educating people about a cook at Applebee's. Like I just find everybody's story very interesting. And
it is.
um
They are.
and I know you have some education background, so um that's why I wanted to get your take on the whole education thing. So, but
You
anyway,
should you should definitely ask everybody that question.
Yeah.
because it kind of puts you on the puts them on the back foot. Like,
Oh,
oh God, what am I doing? When they
babe, I would
move
call
out.
you babe. I sent you that question.
I know, and I
Okay.
didn't think about it as long as I should have, but that's what I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Of course.
Um,
Thanks for
I,
having me.
yeah, thanks so much. And good luck with going back to school because I think you're on a break, but are you gonna go back soon? Because that's what happens is life happens and then you don't ever go back.
January 9th.
Okay.
I'm already registered.
Yeah, awesome. So
It's
does
gonna
that
be
mean you're
great.
moving back downstate?
Nope.
You just gonna commute?
Yeah. Well, I have a sister that lives in Livonia, so I'll frequently probably be crashing on their couch.
Oh,
But we'll see. We'll see. That's how it goes. And my parents are an hour away. I'm an hour and a half away. So I got a big tribe whenever I need to make things happen.
cool.
And there's no time like the present. It's going to be
E-
good.
Exactly, exactly. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.